sharing our shit, So I'm cool with it. We can put this on YouTube if everybody's up for it. I don't know. I'll talk about most things. There are some things obviously we'll always keep sacred and protected and whatnot, but
Mm.
um, I don't know, right? Like we all come in here and we're like, fuck, the energy's heavy today. Like, yeah, I know, right? Like, oh yeah, I just had this fever dream. And it's like, well, if that's happening for us, it's happening for a lot of people, right? And so it's like, I don't know. I feel compelled to like open the portal wider and wider and share with people what we're doing here because they're looking. I really do believe. I believe there's a lot of people out there, they're looking for us. And honestly, is it kind of selfish if we like hide and protect and gatekeep? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what you guys think about that, but
Yeah, no, no, yeah, it's so interesting because Ganga from Emuna
yeah, yeah.
posted sent this note this morning about um, an essay that she had read by this guy about power structures. You know,
Mm,
uh, kind of breaking it down into three categories of power over, power under, and then power with. And I mean, I think what's interesting is we're not interested in power over. We don't want to have power over anybody or have anybody have power over us. We don't want to be under anybody's power, but we're all about power with each other, power with healing the world, power with goodness, power with kindness, power with grace, power with collaborating and making decisions collaboratively. So I think that that's sort of an interesting energy to kind of think about and lean into today, since the energy feels so heavy for everybody.
Well, and it reminds me of David Hawkins' work, power versus force, and
Mm,
even the right kind of power, which is the power that is derived from the energy of universal truth, which to
hmm
me is like the energy of universal truth is the energy of life, of integrity. And force is that self-serving, hierarchical, short-sighted, you know, just not the type of power that we're interested in.
That's right.
So we've all had opening statements of sorts. Adam, would you like to go? And then I would love to take us into conversation with a nice fire that I have built for us back here. Yeah.
I thought you were like gonna try to pass a virtual blunt to us or something.
Oh, actually, I
Uh,
thought you were going to sage us over Zoom.
well, hey, we haven't gotten there yet. Like, just wait and see what happens, you eager beavers. I have the beaver right here, you eager beavers. You, um, my son picked that one out. All right, Adam.
Um, yeah, I don't know that I have much to add other than like talking about power on today. I feel powerless, and that's part of that weight. So
Mm.
yeah.
The beauty is like this energy is universal such that like it's Pisces season, it's
Are you?
the
Is it?
depth.
Look,
Yes, it's Pisces season and
Of course, of course it is. My
it's
birthday was just the other day.
I just happen to have this in my hand. I don't know why. Okay, go ahead.
And it's the depths of the ocean, but also Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. So it's endings and it's finality, and it's like the release before Aries season, which is the first sign of the zodiac, which is like the extreme version of drive. So it's just this like murky, foggy, muddy type of almost like stagnation feeling, where you just can't really see with clarity what's going on, like within and throughout. I just feel like no matter what I try to do and how streamlined my thinking gets or attempts to get, I still just feel like, where am I and what am I doing? So I don't know. I don't know if that's helpful.
Hmm.
So, um, this is really interesting. I think you guys are going to enjoy the opening of our soul trust, because it's kind of about moving from like the feeling of blowing in the wind to being the wind. a little bit, and it's I've like made a thing for us, which I'm really like proud and excited to share with you guys. Um, but so it's interesting, like on the eve of that, to have this energy showed up. It makes me feel like the right thing to do was to wait to share it. I was gonna post it to the Discord and let everybody kind of watch it on their own. But I think we'll launch it in Soul Trust and then we'll share it with the community. Um, but that compels me to take us to the fire, and not to call for us to like shift our energy, but just to be with it, right? To be in it. And I think it feels good, like to be able to just be here in this heaviness with you guys. And I'm excited to tell you about my fever dream personally. So I'm really interested to see what everybody would want to share and offer. But I think power is like swirling around. And sometimes we are incredibly empowered, right? And motivated and excited, and sometimes we're not. But there is power there. Like there's power all around us. And energy, I suppose, Paul, right in the space of energy stewardship. So a good energy steward would just simply light a cozy fire for us to sit and chat next to. So that is what I'm going to do. Um, does anybody want to offer anything or say anything as I light the flame?
Hmm.
I feel really grateful that I can show up um, feeling foggy, murky, muddy, and be able to talk freely about those feelings and not having to hide or, you know, put on a mask to perform
Mhm. Yeah.
because of productivity or because of, just feels like that used to never be acceptable. And even in my own mind, I'd be like, you can't bring other people down. You can't bring that kind of energy. And like, it's such a dance because obviously I don't want to impede other people's energy, but I also don't want to lie to myself or, you know,
Mhm.
I guess just that the beauty of being in whatever you are in that moment and being in community that way and making it an experience even when it doesn't feel that great.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that, and I think that's what's great is that we can all sit with that heaviness and not try to fix it, or sit with that powerlessness and not try to fix it. There's always, I think, this tendency to like, oh, I'm so sorry that you're feeling down, or I'm so sorry you're feeling powerless, you know, but to not apologize and not try to like, you know, dissuade somebody from having the feelings that they're having, I think is part of what makes us stronger in this community.
Such a great point. When I was reviewing the nature retreat itinerary, like I just want to say, I think for me, some of some of the most beautifully impactful things were not at all on the itinerary and
Yeah.
were just what you all shared. And,
Yeah.
Paul, your readings about beauty, like, I mean, I bought multiple copies of that book and I read it so quickly, but also just, it was profound. I mean, such beautiful, amazing wisdom. And I'm curious about his life, John O'Donohue, and it seemed like it was really complex and that he lived with a lot of darkness and
Mhm.
shadow and but
Really?
yeah,
Hmm.
I mean, eh,
Yeah.
Pa- Paul, correct me if I'm wrong. Um, I guess I heard, but I wasn't totally sure if his life had ended in suicide or something to that effect.
No, it didn't end in suicide, but he did die tragically way too young. He was like 52 when he died, but no, he died of some illness. He didn't commit suicide.
just a young death. Maybe it
Yeah,
was the tragedy.
yeah,
But yeah, just grappling with the shadow in as much as he honored the beauty of
yeah,
life.
yeah, yeah. You should really go and get the audio version and listen to his voice read
It's
because
wonderful.
it's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah. Um,
Um,
yeah, he was a complex and very deep thinker, um, you know, and, he had his rebellious side. I mean, he, went into the priesthood and then left the priesthood and then, still celebrated masses on Easter against the wishes of the Catholic Church because he was no longer a priest. So he did some interesting stuff. And yeah, yeah. There's a lot more that he's written than just that book, too. And so.
I would love to know your other recommendations of his work. I mean, I haven't really delved into it, but
I haven't actually read much else of his. I need to actually go and read more myself,
mm,
but I know that, he's written about a lot of different things, both from a theological and a philosophical and just, kind of a life perspective.
I made some new friends in Madison that are all like different
Hmm.
artists, different collaborative artists, and some are all different ages, a lot of them in their early 60s. And I went to this dinner party, and they were talking about beauty. And it had just arrived. So I was like able to get in there, but just the deep appreciation for his work is pretty profound.
Yeah.
you know, um, to bring that back around to where you started us there, Marley, is um, a deep appreciation for our work and what we're doing.
Hmm.
Because what you said there about like you just being able to show up as you are, is there any better like measure of success for what we're doing, you know? And because I just think about like my mom's like most consistent, true kind of sage wisdom to me since I was a little boy was like always stay true to who you are, always. And it's so rooted in our community, and actually in a time where uh, she's going through some hard stuff. It's really interesting to have that energy come through because it's just like sometimes the most beautiful things are born in the most like dim and dark of places, right? Or even like, the most broken people are sometimes the most beautiful people. We have been on this music realm quest, and one of the places we started was with the very beginnings of Pink Floyd. And Sid Barrett, who was original member of Pink Floyd and kind of the driving force for everything they became, really, was one of the most like artistic, otherworldly, other realm traveling sort of beings, and he was totally like off offbeat with the pace of the machine world. And it's why Pink Floyd actually, I think, stood up to the machine so strongly in so many ways, is because it claimed their brother, that darkness. And I think like us creating a place where like, I mean, hell, when I sent that voice note to the Discord this morning that Marley said she listened to just before, uh, and Paul, for your FYI, I don't know, Adam, if you've listened to it, but just the cliff notes are basically just that, like that, this heavy energy and kind of feeling like, holy crap, I'm feeling like the responsibility of being like the elk father, the protector, the provider, and like, wow, it just like really hit me hard today. All while I have a back that is a work in progress to heal. It's like I want to carry more weight, but some days I can do it and some I just can't. And I had this thought where I was like, man, like I recorded the voice note and I was like sitting there waiting to push send, and I almost didn't do it because I was like, is this how like a CEO starts a Monday? Is this the rallying cry for a team that needs to sell and grow? And I was like, here in the fucking mirrors, yeah, the fuck it is. And so I pushed send, and because the thing is too, is I don't Like some of you will listen to it and some of you won't. In some ways it's for me, and then whoever's meant to hear it or is interested to hear it will hear it, and that's plenty. That's enough, right? Which just again just like speaks to the strength of what we're doing. That ability to be who we are, be where we are. But I have right now this unshakable belief that if we do, as my matriarchal mother says, if we stay true to who we are, the universe will conspire to assist us continuously, and we will have what we need. We just have to keep showing up, though, right? And we're doing it. We're doing it better than any point in the history of the Viraverse. We're showing up as ourselves, for each other, and I am too, Marley. So grateful for it. Uh, it's life changing shit. It's truly life changing.
I really feel I feel like formalizing sort of like our community agreements. And I know we have
Yeah, yeah.
our values, but
Hmm.
like formalizing community agreements, it like provides an infrastructure to what we intend, but also like how we show up. It's almost like creating the framework for what we are and what we do in a
So
more,
Yeah.
we have a partial version of this. I'll grab it real quick. Marley, do you want to give me co-host?
yeah.
And this has gone out in a few different formats, but honestly, we should like be posting it more consistently, and we should also be evolving it because it needs more, I think, to get to what you're speaking to.
Yeah. I mean, you know, Chance, we sort of talked about kind of a manifesto out of our political realm
Right.
conversation, but
That's
you know,
right.
maybe this is somewhat part of that as, you know,
Mm.
not so much even a manifesto as much as kind of like a community standards kind of agreement kind of thing. Hmm.
So I'll show you what I got here. And I'll put the link in the chat too, but just to kind of, okay. Grammarly, get out of here with your marketing bullshit. Um, so this is before you climb aboard the Viridessa mothership, or like a before you arrive document. And it's something that we co-created a bit with Wisdom Workshop. And this is like for virtual live environments, right? It's like different things you can kind of bring with you and whatnot. But it's this stuff that I find to be the most compelling stuff, right? So this commitment to communitas, right? Like non-hierarchical, liminal space of becoming. Um, and then there's some things in here like I won't shit on you if you don't shit on me. You do you, don't ick my wow. Embrace the process. So these are some of the things that have been kind of in the background, but it's like we don't have this in front of everybody all the time, right? Like I started sending this to people before they come for a virtual like harness your hero workshop and whatnot. But I think we can evolve this more. But I'll send this so you guys can take a look at it.
Mhm.
Does this kind of get to what you're speaking to, though, Marley?
Yeah, I think so. Um, I think so. There's like we came up with like community agreements for the Next Economy MBA course, and like
Mm-hmm.
it was really agreed upon by the group.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I do love all the intentionality, and I think it's also a little bit about like relating to each other, like how we relate to each other and how we honor, when people
Mhm.
share and like giving loving kindness, that as a agreement and a construct that it's
That's
just,
in here. Yeah.
it's like, so beautiful, but that sort of reflective honoring of people, um, yeah, all of that.
Mhm.
And I think using that as a method of talking about what we do and sort of giving people insight into what it's like to be in community. Because I think I feel that breaking into a Zoom that you don't know what's going to be on the other side for a lot of people is probably really intimidating.
Mm. Yeah.
which is tragic, right? Because it's like you couldn't be coming to a more like safe safe space.
Right.
Um, you know, yeah, which gets to the importance of the ability to like communicate it, which is something the wisdom workshop struggles with that just as much as we do, right? Because it is hard for people to like wrap their heads around. But I think about, right, Adam, what we did last night. So Adam and I went to an in-person, like, what would you call it, a mindfulness workshop, I guess, kind
Yeah.
of, right?
Mm.
Um, and it was, well, I don't know, Adam, do you want to overview what it was, or do you want me to do it?
It was put on by Citizens Climate Lobby. There was one that was done similarly with the same provider down in Missoula. And similar to our take that change makers need some space to do self-work, self-care, and not feel the weight of the world on them. Um, and so, yeah, we had dinner and went into some mindfulness stuff, which there wasn't really any sort of, there's a little lead in, but not a lot. And sitting, feeling your body, moving through things with intention. And then we had a little bit of sharing back and forth, and yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and it was, what I would say to kind of capture like the essence of the group and the energy in the group is that, um, definitely like an older group of people, like in the twilight of careers or retired and doing volunteer work, sort of Paul vibe, I suppose. But early days of the provocateur, right? Like maybe for, and I don't know if this is where it correlates to you in particular, Paul, but you can speak to it. It's just that like a lot of these people hadn't really like experienced anything like this before, and they hadn't then like started doing this kind of inner work, and it was a beautiful thing to witness them meet that. And for some, it was like huge relief. For some, it was heavy and kind of hard and a little like overly vulnerable, but also like they pushed through it. And I know what was interesting for me in all of it is I did kind of like come into it in a sort of energy steward role, is like been doing this work long enough to be able to just like be really supportive to people in the group, and to offer them like loving kindness and all the things we practiced. And That felt really cool and like a great way to, it's like I didn't need anything out of the experience other than to witness them and to see them, right? And I think, Adam, you had that too, where you just kind of held the space of just like sitting there and listening and being there, with them. Um, and uh, so like it was actually hugely reinforcing to what it is that we're creating. And I talked to the facilitator briefly after, and we both kind of exchanged gratitudes. And we're going to touch base at some point, I think, because she's been doing this for like 40, 50 years.
Wow.
And she, like, I came up and said thank you for what you do, and how long you've been doing it. And she was like, well, thank you for what you're doing. And she's like, it's so exciting to see like, the younger generations stepping into this fully. And I said, well, it's become like our way of life. This is what we are. And I could see like this like twinkle in her eyes, like kind of light up, like it was cool. Um, so yeah. Um,
what was the format and what was the experience?
Yeah, I mean, she was really kind of a guided meditation, I guess, is how we got into it, right? Like we went around the table and introduced ourselves, and um, it that was an interesting thing, and I think everybody did a pretty good job of sharing like their holistic view. It did become a little bit about like what we do, a little bit, but it was pretty good, I'd say, Adam. I don't think it was solely that. I think
Mhm.
everybody did a good job of kind of weaving through a flow a little bit there. And So we did that, and then she introduced how she got introduced to this work when she was like 19. Told a few stories and whatnot, and then she invited us to get into a comfortable place of on our back, lay down, and to really get into like the body, listening to the body, connecting with the body, and that was probably, I don't know, 25, 30 minutes of guiding us through that. And then we raised to our feet and she had us kind of stay connected. And then we went back to the table and kind of went around the room and, all that. So it was good.
How many people was it?
I don't know, 17, 18, Adam, is that maybe not quite that
Yeah,
many or close?
probably not quite that many.
Okay. So not too big a group.
I'm gonna put a super cool piece of wood in the fire. Check this shit out.
Ooh,
It's got this like,
trifecta.
yeah. I wish
Yeah.
it was four for the foursome here, but
Yeah.
this will suffice. I'm gonna go this way.
Love it. Um, do you think it would be beneficial to consider creating a theme of focus for the year, like each month, like an inner work theme that kind of
Mm,
goes with our regenerative seasons, like our
yeah, our
seasonality,
cycle. Yeah.
and like solidify so that it would be easier for us to create not only like structure, fun and flows and experiences, but also like so that people could know, what they're coming into with a little bit of
Isn't that kind of what we're started doing with February being radical love and March being playful work?
I think we're working that direction. Yeah.
it is. And I wonder if it could be like a combination of our regenerative, what is it called, seasonality, or what do we call the seasons?
I call it the cycle of the seasons. But I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about that. But yeah, that's the terminology we've got. Regenerative cycle or regenerative seasonality or, yeah.
Because I wonder if it could incorporate that and be like kind of loosely also inspired by the zodiac, maybe like a pinch, and
Hmm.
and also just like inner work concepts where it would be like open-ended enough that people could, be creative around content creation, but I don't know.
So, a couple of thoughts I've had on this. So, one is I do think that it does, as our little tripod tips over there. Um, I think that means onward. Yes, let's do this. Um, uh, I think it is open-ended enough in this, like with framing it as like the when you do like the pace of it is like the warm up, the swim, the sprint, the cool down sets that like energy, the vibe of energy. But and there's different ways to approach that because somebody might be in like go mode. That doesn't necessarily mean you're sprinting. You're just maybe you're really like focused and locked in. But you have like a kind of slow and steady pace to the way you're approaching things. So that's one. The other, which I've been wanting to do for a long time, is like leaning into the elements on a monthly basis, right? Like having the month be like fire flow month, right, or water month, or and connecting with the elements, because then people can approach that in all sorts of different ways, right?
Yeah.
Whereas I have a wood burning fireplace, some might, put a bunch of candles in their bedroom for the month and like go, maybe they don't use the lights in their bedroom all month long and they just have candle lighting, whatever. Um, so that's how I have envisioned it, and we're ready. We're like ready to do that because it's as simple as just saying, hey, this month is this element. And what we could be cool too is we could go to the community. So like the regenerative cycle, I think can kind of flow as it does and follow what we've designed a little bit because that's like the pace of like the viridescent mothership, and our community seems to kind of vibe and mesh with that usually. But maybe we could go to the community and have them vote each month on which element they want to focus on, and have us like choose that way too. Because then if people are like, if we do whatever is emergent, right, then I think we'll get more out of people, or empower them more. They'll be more compelled to contribute, to co-create, to create whatever. I don't know. What do you
Mhm.
guys think about that?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think there's so many possibilities, right? You could certainly do an element thing. You could certainly do a zodiac thing. You could certainly do a, Celtic seasonal thing. You could,
Right, right.
there's a lot of different possibilities. I think maybe the question is like how to kind of sort of weave some of these things into, as Marley's suggesting, just a theme for the month.
Hmm.
Um, you know, And sure, to your point, people could be in different places. People could be, in a water flow or a fire flow or, be grounded into the earth that month or whatever. And
Hmm.
I don't know that we need to necessarily prescribe for them what that
Yep.
is. Um, but we as an organization, as kind of the core of the community, could certainly say, you know, this is playful work month. It's tied to this season. It's tied to this earth element. Do with it what you will.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think, well, I mean, each one of the zodiac is connected to an earth element, you know?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so it naturally does occur every 4 months that you would have air or water or fire or, earth. But I do like also the idea of emergence, and like maybe it could be something where the first, 2026, we pick the themes, or and then 2027 it could be that they're voted upon, or we could vote on all of them. I don't know, maybe it's over designing things. I'm just thinking about giving people sort of more context such that they feel comfortable joining. Like, oh, we're going to focus on gratitude. Like, I really love, that sounds amazing. Or we're going to focus on, more thoughtful introspection about thoughts. Or we're going to focus on emotions and or inner child or whatever. I mean, there's many ways it could go. But
I mean, I think February is probably the best example of this we've done to date, which is, I mean, we've done a couple of them, right? But I think the first one was right on the mark in that it was um, Radical Love Month, which then I tied in our like love lives element of regenerative philosophy to it. It was like really clear what that was. All the events we did were tied into that very effectively. Like, and hell, like my birthday party thing. I mean, the loving kindness that I got in the first 30 minutes of that birthday party was like, I was like, wow, like what a fucking like gift that was to myself to do that. But all I did really was just create the container in the space that fit inside of what we co-created together, which was that it was Radical Love Month, and it was so on the money. Um, and playful work this month is like kind of there, maybe, like especially given that we're doing our like secret mission on the 29th, right? Our psychedelia quest and stuff. So like it's there. It's maybe not as strong as Radical Love Month was. And I think you're getting at that, Marley, where it's like getting into some like really specific themes, right? Like gratitude's very specific, right? Emotions is open-ended, but it's very specific. And emotions is great because we have tons of different, if you take from Harness Your Hero, these microspheres, right, which are basically just emotions. We have so many of those, and so there's so many easy ways for us to like weave in little notes, that things that happen inside the Harness Your Hero program. And what's great about this is it creates this interconnectivity. So is like it's a very clear and concise topic for the month that is easy to share with people that are not in the community. But then as we go through and do the experiences, then it's really easy for us to like portal people towards things that are in practice inside the community, right? Nature retreats, Harness Your Hero, the next Fun and Flow, bath time with Marley, whatever, right? Whatever it is. Uh, um, like, so I think that we're already doing this, Marley, and I like your call to just like let's be like really intentional about it. And I know Ella absolutely loves it. Like when we had basically the content, the months of content for February laid out, that was
Mm.
huge for her in being able to develop all of our email campaigns and things, right? So yeah, this is good. And it's something Paul and I've talked about this for a long time. We just didn't really have the team to do it because it was going to rely too much upon like me to do all the different stages. And now it's just like we co-create it together and then everybody takes their own pieces, right? We have the marketing campaigns, we have the personalized, just off the cuff text invitations to people that come up, we have the facilitators that play their roles. We have content that goes then into the Discord, and then that's something we can mine to put out on Substack. And yeah.
So all of that is great. All of that is great. And I just was like kind of like thinking about, you know, what would be interesting is to weave in. We have like all these beautiful like alter egos and subalter egos
Mhm.
that we could actually turn into themes. Like we could have an
Yeah.
embracing beauty theme. We could have
Mm.
a joyful grace theme. We could have a perennial mystic theme. We could have a spirited serenity theme, which is just vague enough to pique people's interest
Mm.
and but also specific enough to where we could actually build thematic content around those things.
Well,
I
and
don't,
then think about the movement guide too.
well, yeah,
Like movement guide, it'd just be a month of movement. Like it'd give reason
yeah,
people a reason to like, hey, like don't sit at your desk the whole month long, right? Like move, get
that's
out
right.
and move, right? When we're
Right.
doing Zooms or events, like, who can be on the walk, the most, right? Like you guys see me bouncing around to like the sauna and doing all kinds of
Right.
crazy shit now, right? Um, like Paul, that's a great idea, and it's a mix. It's like the celebration of a me and a we, right? And actually really resonates with what it was. So was it Fun and Flow last week, where in the middle of the session, I went and renamed everybody's Zoom names to be our Perennial Mystic,
Oh yeah,
our Movement
right,
Guide, our Beauty Embracer. And I
right.
actually sent Darren Beck a voice note after that session because he spoke to that still being in that kind of like crossing of the threshold to be like the architect of the future. And I
Uh-huh.
sent him a note and I said, I was like, Darren, that's the thing about our community is that like look, like I'm the designer, but I want everybody to be the designer. We are the designers, right? And like you are our architect of the future, right? And we see you as nothing but that. You are that is all you are to us in a way, right? Like and
But
so
that,
much
but that,
more, right?
but that's
I
that's
love that.
that's exactly right. I mean, we all want to be architects of the future. We
That's
all
right.
want to be
Yeah.
beauty embracers. We all want to be perennial mystics. We all want to be
I
moved.
just had a fever dream, so I was just doing my mystic shit here. So um
I don't know,
fuck,
just
dude.
sort
I
of
think
throwing out an
no. What do
idea
you
here.
guys think, Adam, Marley? I think that's brilliant, and I think it doesn't have to be either or. Like there is a
That's right.
way for
No,
this to
you just
flow
weave
in.
it,
It could be
just
like
weave it in. Yeah.
and I mean, maybe from a design standpoint, maybe there's like like our featured alter energy or something, right? And so then it's like, okay, this month it is
Uh-huh.
perennial mystic, and maybe Marley, you choose what then the focus is. I don't like topic. Topic is too
Right.
like machiney, but I like energy and I like focus. So, the alter energy is perennial mystic, and then Marley chooses what the focus is. It's gratitude, for example,
Or
right?
the vibe.
Um,
What's our vibe for the month?
vibe's good. Yeah, vibe is good. Yeah, what do you guys think?
5.
I love that. I love that idea. And then it gives more insight into the alter ego and what,
Right.
all the beauty of the creativity in that space. Um, Yeah, I think that's great. And I think we could come up with like a list of just sort of supportive concepts,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
supportive focus that, things like intentions, gratitude, empathy, the mind, like the body, embodiment, just things that are like general topics that can be really expounded upon in big ways.
Mhm.
Um, for to help people if they need help. Otherwise, I think having a little bit more context will be helpful.
Sure, of course. Um, Coming back to what Marley was bringing up in terms of like, community standards and what you shared, Chance, in terms of like, before you board the viridescent mothership.
Hmm. Yep.
I wonder if we should be somewhat intentional or when new people come into the community,
Hmm.
or even just occasionally at Fun and Flow. I mean, the document that you showed is way too long,
Yeah, of course. Right.
if we
Of
could
course.
if we could narrow it down to like what are the really key things that we want people to understand as they come into the community, and
Yep.
basically just say let's review how we are together in this community, and it's loving kindness, it's what blah blah blah, it's whatever. um
Yep.
I think
I mean,
take some of what you wrote and just you know, maybe just bullet point it down to like the five key things or
yeah,
something.
I mean, off the cuff, right? It's like, we practice loving kindness, show up as you are.
Yeah,
You can listen or speak, no pressure to be or do anything, that kind of thing, right? It's like remove distractions, right? And be present. Um, it's a couple others like that. Yeah, it's not much, right? Yeah. Don't give each other like it's unsolicited advice, like that. Yeah, I mean, it can be done pretty simply. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Even for all of us who have been in the community for a long time, it's
Good to
not
have that
not such
refresher.
a bad thing to just remind ourselves every once in a while.
Yeah, I think the only thing I guess the reason I would suspect that we don't do this is a ton is I have an aversion to like housekeeping.
Yeah, no, no, no,
I've done
I'm not saying
I
do it
know.
a ton.
I know you're not. Yeah. I'm just saying that's where I think it comes
Yeah,
from. But
yeah,
that's
yeah.
the over extreme is like not talking about like our core tenets, our core practices and stuff, right? Is no good because we want to become a like, a learning environment, right? Where people are
Yeah.
learning this new way.
True.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's good. It's good. Yeah, this is good. Okay.
Well, and I almost wonder if we start with like the values compass and then the regenerative seasons and then the
Mhm.
agreements, like is like a real quick hitters of like more context about what viridescent is and intends to be, even for our group.
Mhm.
Because I think it's almost like we need to have an anchor that's like grounding us into a context because we all know it and we get it, but it's like we need to be prepared for new people and new
Yeah.
people to have a context for it and to have like an inspiration that they want to stay and come back and like they get it that oh, their values are beyond, this standard business as usual and oh, they embrace resting and they embrace, receiving and they also have conscious rules about respecting each other and community and like I don't know, it doesn't need to be like housekeeping-ish, but I think it needs like I don't know, I feel that
Yeah.
maybe there's something that those actions will welcome in new people to receive them.
This fits, I mean, right, Adam and Paul, this fits so much in line with what we talked about during this first political realm conversation is developing like a manifesto for like the Viraverse, right? Or and it might even just really be manifesto for our regenerative philosophy, because that's
Right.
really what this is, right? Is
Yeah.
is it's like we sit in practice of regenerative philosophy together, and here are some of the tools, frameworks, practices, whatever you want to call them, that we use.
Hmm.
And we've done these like so far, these things that you're referencing, Marley, right? The values compass, the regenerative cycle. We've done them in like a visual format that lends to less is more, right? Like it isn't like a written, it's not a manuscript, right? It's a visual, a visual aid of sorts. Um, yeah, I like this. It's good. I wonder, should we talk about this in Soul Trust tomorrow, Paul? Maybe.
Maybe. I mean, let's see how far we get with what we've already got on the agenda. But
Yeah, I mean, I think we can kind of like start acting upon this too. And I like we can use the values compass and the regenerative cycle as things that are largely, kind of put together. Um, and then for the agreements, we do that as a co-creation. And I like this term, the agreements. I like that. It's like the four agreements of sorts, however many we end up with. I like the idea of it being eight. Infinity would be great. Um, yeah.
It's so
Um,
funny because all I keep seeing is like four quarters. Like that's all I keep seeing is like there's four quarters
what's
and
so
that it's
good?
like this other thing of education for people that maybe don't understand or know a lot about astrology or different things. Having the theme of the month, having the astrology and like high level what it means,
Yeah,
having the element,
yeah.
having like giving just more context to welcome people into understanding and getting it
Mhm.
faster.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, that's I was gonna say is like there's no reason why we couldn't have like this is something we could release on a monthly basis, right? It's like a one page kind of it's like for lack of a better word, a newsletter, right, or whatever. But maybe it's a manifest, actually. That's a term we've used in Harness Your Hero before. It's like a monthly manifest, and on it it has like it could have right the astrology, the zodiac, the energy, the focus, the vibe, whatever the terms we decide to use for it. And it's designed in our kind of visual and colorful sort of way, but it's very simple and easy to understand. um yeah, yeah, this is great. I like this. I think it would drive a lot of things, the marketing and understandability. It would enhance and enrich like the content that gets created in the Discord. It would, I think, also kick us nicely into like a monthly like recap and story of the month prior and things too as we create. Yeah,
Mhm.
Well,
good.
and just as we're having like different people lead fun and flows, like it'll give
Yep.
a continuity to the
Yep.
work and the opening and the closing, so that
Hmm.
it just feels cohesive and um everyone, yeah, I think it's just like context, like more context. Um
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'll start compiling some of the stuff we have, existing stuff. One thing I will do that I still haven't done, Paul, is I'm gonna um, tweak the regenerative cycle graphic to pull a few words and make it a little bit more open-ended. It's pretty close, but there's a little work I think that can still be done there. And then Marley, your four quarters thing has my mind going. So we'll build upon that with that too. Um, and all the graphics we have are either in like a circle, cycle, or infinity sort of loop. And four shows up often. Yeah.
Hmm.
I wonder if it could just be like a short, like 30-second video or something that plays during the music or.
Oh, as far as like in session, um, like
I
oh,
mean,
continue. Well,
I don't
I
need,
sorry, I'm thinking more about like the monthly manifest, but you're referring to like something inside of each event that
yeah, the
plays.
intro kind of thing, but
Okay. Yeah. No, that's
I
that's
don't need to
also
limit your creativity.
um I mean, yeah, we already have a version of this that was just done in the most simplistic way possible. So we would just update it with these things. Um yeah, this is easy to do. This would not take very long to do. And I'd say we could start this in April. Yeah, I think actually it does. This is Soul Trust business to me, Paul. This is the kind of stuff the Soul Trust does, right?
Yeah.
Like the Vera Vigilantes are very much like the execution of things, right? The Soul Trust is like the mind, body, soul sort of stuff
Yeah.
of it all, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I know we're approaching our scheduled hour. I don't know if you guys want to hear about my fever dream or not, but um,
I
Yeah,
want to check on Adam.
yeah,
Good.
he's chilling.
You good over there?
Soaking it all in. I had a meeting before this too that I went to that was similar, just not feeling very. I almost gave myself the pep talk, like, okay, show up and
Mm.
whatever. Like, no, I'm just going. I'll just be there. It'll happen.
You're welcome, just as you are.
Thanks.
Mhm. It was more just if you wanted us to like, send you a little something through the airwaves.
I won't turn it down. I'm curious, Chance, about your fever dream.
Yeah, me too.
Mm. Okay, I did my teasing. That was effective. My tease, the design tease, as I'm starting to call it. Um, so as the fire starts to smoke up and out the fireplace, how about that? That's good timing. Um, so I don't know what happened to my computer there, but um, yeah. So this morning had a hell of a time getting out of bed. And Poppy was like draped all over me as she is now, laying on my feet. And she like would not get up. I was like, "You want to go outside? You want to go?" And she just like would not move. So we took it to like the nth degree as far as sleeping in. But I had to get the kids up, and I was kind of solo because Ryan had a late night last night and whatnot. So doing everything on my own, had to drive through the snowstorm to get the kids all the way over to Echo Lake, which is a 30-minute drive, and then get back over for my physical therapy session this morning. And my physical therapist was like, "Oh, you okay, so you pushed your body a little harder on Friday and Saturday." He's like, "While your body is in that state of fatigue, I actually want to push it further and see how it feels." And I'm like, "Oh God, okay." Which was good actually. It felt kind of empowering, but also exhausting. So I came back home, and it was just like, fuck, I'm supposed to work. So I did my one important machiney task, which is to get Randall, our accountant, all the shit. So that was good. But then I've been exploring this thing. So one of the most meaningful stories of my life that I love is the Dark Tower series by Stephen King, and it's about this gunslinger, as they're called, named Roland, and he's in the pursuit of this dark tower. It's like his life's purpose. And the way it ends, which I won't spoil it for anybody that wants to read it, but the way it ends is like really, really a mind fuck and very interesting about like, did Roland transcend, or did he learn nothing in a way? Like there's this really interesting thing, the way he did it. It's one of the most clever endings I've ever seen in a book. Some people hate it, but the ending of any good story is going to be loved and hated. That's just the way it is. Ask the Star Wars fans, for fuck's sake. Um, and so, as that energy's been up and around, the other thing that has been arising is with this emergence is the idea of the dawn, the new dawn, the emergent dawn, or the emergent horizon, as I'm starting to see it. And I've been going to this place visually of this, and it's a place in Harness Your Hero. It's New Dawn, that like forever sunrise place in the fourth comic. And there's a tower in this city or this region called New Dawn, and it's become the Dawn Tower for me. And I've been trying to get into the tower and to like explore it. And during our first Music Realm quest, um, we listened to Pink Floyd's first album, and visually I went there, and there's a song called Gnome on that album. And I was inside the tower, and there was like a gnome there, and he was like the guardian or the gatekeeper or something. And then like he like was like quizzing me or something, and we like had a conversation. And he's like, "You are cast out," and this like lightning bolt comes down and hits me and knocks me out of the tower. And it's like, "You are not worthy." And I'm like, it's like, so I've been like working at that, and it connects to this idea of like reaching the final boss of my healing journey, right? The final boss of the video game of sorts. So, so today, I decided to go to the second Music Realm quest we had, and to lay in my bed on my back, with my headphones on, and listen to this Grateful Dead playlist that Paul and Dave created. Sorry, the Provocateur and the Sentinel like that energy better in the space of all these dawns. And there's a lot of like light and sun and dawn energy in that collection of tunes. The album, that's a big part of it, is called Anthem of Dawn or Anthems of Dawn.
No, Anthem of the Sun.
Anthem of the Sun. Thank you. Okay. And then yeah, okay, there we go. Anthem of the Sun. Thank you. And so I lay down, I go into the music, and I'm like in a meditative space really quickly. There's this like pulsating black, kind of black and red energy that's like pulling me forward and pushing me back. And I'm just like, that was like kind of rocking really quickly. And from there, I start drifting in and out of sleep. And at times, it's like, I don't know if you've ever woke up in that panic, right? It's like that nightmare sort of feeling where you just like wake up and you're like, like, well, kind of. And so I had like that kind of energy. And then there was another where I was just like floating and I was like in this really like serene sort of place. And I just kept going in and out of that. And I was imagining the tower and like I was like kind of like circling around it. And maybe I went through the door or up above it. I don't know. I was like all around it. And eventually I think I fell asleep for a slightly longer period of time. And I woke up naturally before my alarm went off because we had to go meet with the kids' teacher today. And I was just drenched in sweat. Oh, that's the other thing. So as soon as that pulsing energy started, I've been exploring the my relationship with like anger and rage and how it channels through my body. And during my cranial sacral, the last one, my right neck muscle got really hot. And it did this within like 3 or 4 minutes of me moving into this meditation. The muscle just like exploded in heat. And that I think set off this fever dreamy sort of thing. And so then towards the end, I woke up and I felt way calmer and I was just drenched in sweat. Um, and that was my fever dream, largely. Not quite sure entirely what's all going on there yet, but I felt better. So more productive than whatever work I would have tried to do, probably, I would say.
That's epic. Some
Yeah.
serious fever in there.
Yeah.
When I like last night and this morning when I woke up, I was like, I had the gnosis and I didn't, but it was like, you should spend the entire morning just meditating. That would be the
Mm.
best use of your time. And I didn't. I resisted. I tried to do the machiney shit and
Oh, yeah.
failure.
Adam, you've spoke to that, like arriving, right? You like arrive at your desk and that like I have to do this and then having that moment of like, no, the fuck I can't. I can't fucking do this. I'm leaving.
Mhm.
Uh,
Nice to feel the difference.
Hmm.
Mhm. That's the best feeling when you just get
I
up and
mean,
close the computer.
we'll talk about this tomorrow in Soul Trust, I think, a bit. But I just want to like take the opportunity in this moment is just I just like I want to just continue to call for like always listen to that intuition. Like, and maybe it's like what I found to be helpful, like I said with the taxes today, is like I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna check off one of those things that will screw with it, right? That will like pop up in my head as like, I should have done that, right? Like, why didn't I do that? Like, oh God, now I have to do it now. It's like, so just get that thing the fuck out the way, like if you can, if it's like a quick hit, and sometimes it's not, right? Sometimes they're like the bigger things, but I've found that to really help my ability to like, well, I fell into that meditation really quickly, and it's because I didn't have that barrier, right? That wall.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Marley, I could see like, like send a couple of little like sales outreach things and just like, okay, I did a couple, right? I did a couple and now the fuck I'm done, I don't know.
I did some good outreach today, so I feel good, but like I should have
Yeah, but you
listened.
didn't meditate though,
I
right?
should
You
have
didn't get your
listened. I
meditation?
did
Yeah.
meditate for not the
Oh, okay.
entire morning, but
Okay.
that I think that would have served me better for sure.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Can you build a business just trusting the energy of each day?
Hmm.
I believe you cannot, but you can build an altar business. I really believe that you can. Oh. Paul,
Oh, we managed to fill up an hour and 7 minutes of just talking. which was pretty
And
cool. Which was pretty
did
cool.
we
We got
did
a
we
lot of
just
creative ideas flowing, and
yeah?
so
Is it YouTube worthy? I don't see why not. Nothing crazy vulnerable in there that can't go up onto
no,
the YouTube. I don't know. What do you guys think?
yeah, it's not like we were sharing our life secrets here.
Well, no, and I think there's an invitation to it. It's like, hey,
Yeah,
this is what we're building and we're figuring it out. We're working it out,
yeah.
Come join us. Come
Come
help
join.
us work it out.
It's our work in progress.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Anybody need anything before we depart? Any loving kindness?
I'm good.
Can I
Okay.
offer some loving kindness to Adam?
Hmm.
Mhm.
Are you open to that, Adam?
Yep.
Yeah. Um, I think that sometimes you are carrying that powerless feeling because I think that right now, I think you're actually one of the more like vocal and outspoken of us in the community right now. And that's admirable as fuck. And it's okay. Like it's okay. It's reasonable. It's fair that some days it would like stack up maybe or something, right? Like whatever that is. Like I think you're engaging in the machine world heavier than some of us, and um, so this is kind of a celebration of that and like how that energy, like that's a lot. That's like a lot of energy that you're moving through when you do that. And so I just like I don't know if I won't say it's working, keep going necessarily, but like that it makes sense. Like my observation is it makes sense that you would move in and out of this, right? And whether that needs adjusting or doesn't isn't for us or me to say. But it is for us to like see and to celebrate that you're being heroic, dude. Like you're fucking speaking out, you're standing up. And we're here for you, of course, right? Um, and honestly, I will say it is working. Of course, it's working. Like it's empowering, and people are seeing your stuff, seeing your shit, right? And I felt it in the room last night too. Like you're a leader, man. And you're stepping into a place that not everybody's willing to, and we need it. So that's what I got. Love you, buddy.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Love you too.
Mhm.
And I hope we're going skiing on Thursday.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I'm a go. So, Paul, I'd kind of like a one-on-one before you leave for like a month, you world traveling maniac, you.
It's only
So,
3 weeks, not a month.
oh gosh, no, 3 weeks. Oh my God, 3 weeks. Okay. Um,
You never know.
uh,
I may pop in here and there if I can.
well, I sure hope so. Okay. Wednesday morning, potentially. I don't know. I know it was like the day before you leave. I don't know how that works for you. I could probably find something tomorrow. My schedule's kind of packed, but.
Actually, Wednesday morning, but it would have to be before 10 my time. I have something at 10.
Okay.
It's going to last a couple hours.
Okay. The only caveat is that I'm considering going and getting these fresh tracks on Wednesday morning when the mountain opens.
Yeah.
But I could talk in 22 on my drive if you want to check in, depending on how you're feeling.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll call you if that
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
Okay. And then maybe again on Wednesday, because 3 weeks without my Paul, what the fuck am I going to do? All right. Love you all.
All right.
See you
See you
tomorrow.
Love
guys.
you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.